Look at your hand. Move your index finger. Just a small twitch. You felt the exact millisecond you made that choice. A spark of pure human will. Then the muscle moved. It feels instant. It feels real. You think you are the absolute boss of your own skin, the king of your mind. But you are not. Beneath the skull, a silent machine is pulling the levers. It never asked for your permission. You are living in a house run by a stranger. The nightmare began in 1983, a laboratory in San Francisco. A scientist named Benjamin Libet wanted to map free will. He wasn't trying to destroy human freedom. He just wanted to track it on a timeline. He put his subjects in a dim room. He attached silver electrodes to their scalps. He pointed them toward a special clock. A single dot of light was spinning fast across a screen. The rule was simple. Sit still. Wait for a random urge to move your wrist. Note the exact millisecond on the clock. Then flip a switch. It was a basic medical test until the data machines printed out the chart. The sensors on the wrists tracked the muscle. The electrodes on the head tracked the brain waves. If the conscious mind was in charge, the sequence was obvious. The thought should light up first. The body should follow. But the chart showed a massive chronological fracture. A huge electrical spike exploded in the motor cortex. It happened a full 300 milliseconds before the subject even felt the urge to move. The biological engine was running before the driver turned the key. Our free will is a delayed broadcast, a ghost of a decision finalized in the dark. The academic world erupted in fierce denial. Scientists called it a timing error, a cheap flaw in a primitive machine. They fought to protect the illusion of control. But nature does not waste energy on useless tricks. Think about our ancestors. A shadow moves in the tall grass. A human who waits for a conscious debate is eaten. Thought is slow. It burns too many calories. Consciousness is a luxury liner. Evolution bypassed our aware minds to keep us alive. Our intellect is just a hitchhiker on a wild animal. Let's move ahead 25 years. Berlin. The technology is completely different. High-resolution brain scanners. Functional fMRI machines. A neuroscientist named John Dylan Haynes decided to push the mystery to the absolute limit. He put his subjects inside a massive, humming metallic tube. He handed them 2 plastic buttons. They stared at a flashing screen. Letters appeared every half second. They could press left or right whenever they felt like it. There was no pressure, no rhythm, just pure, random choice. But as they lay there undecided, a computer program was secretly reading their blood flow. It was mapping a future they hadn't lived yet. The software didn't just see a generic wave of energy. It read the exact geometry of the neural networks. The computer knew whether the person would choose left or right 7 full seconds before the person made up their mind. In the quietest trials, the window stretched to 10 seconds. Think about that horror. You are lying in the dark. You are debating. Left? Right? You genuinely do not know. Your mind is a blank slate. But in the next room, a stranger is watching your fate settle on a monitor. Your future choice is already historical data on a hard drive. Your conscious mind is just arriving late to its own execution. This leaves us staring into a massive psychological void. If the brain acts first, why do we feel in control? Why did evolution build this heavy illusion? The truth is clear. The conscious mind is not the king. It is just the press secretary. The press secretary does not sit in on secret war meetings. They don't draft the laws. They don't deploy the troops. They stand at a podium after the choice is made. They get a piece of paper from the real bosses. Their job is to spin the story. They make the choice look smart and deliberate. Your ego is a spin doctor. It invents a daily fiction to hide the fact that you are a spectator in your own skull. Look at how easily this press secretary can be fooled. In Sweden, researchers set a psychological trap. They used magic card tricks. They showed ordinary people 2 photos of different faces. They asked one question: which face is more attractive? The subject pointed to their choice. But as the researcher lowered the cards, he used sleight of hand. He secretly swapped the photos. He handed the subject the face they had explicitly rejected. Then he asked them to explain their choice. If we are the real authors of our desires, the brain should scream. It should spot the fraud instantly. But it stayed silent. Most people stared right at the rejected face and noticed nothing. Instead, their conscious minds went to work. They immediately invented an elaborate defense for a choice they never made. They looked at a stranger and said, "I picked her because of her dark hair. I like her approachable smile." But the photo they actually picked had light hair. The face was completely different. The press secretary didn't care about the truth of the past. It only cared about looking consistent in the present. It hallucinated a fake emotional history on the spot. Your mind will gladly lie to you just to protect your pride. The cover-up goes even deeper. Look at the split brain experiments of the late 20th century. Surgeons cut the connection between the left and right hemispheres to stop severe seizures. It created two separate minds inside one skull. The left brain controls speech and the right hand. The right brain controls space and the left hand. Neuroscientists flashed a picture of a snow scene to the patient's right brain. They flashed a chicken claw to the left brain. Then they asked the patient to pick matching cards from a pile. The right hand picked a chicken. The left hand picked a shovel. It made perfect sense for two disconnected brains. Then came the moment of existential reckoning. The scientist looked at the patient. Why is your left hand pointing at a shovel? The talking side of the brain was caught in a trap. It had no idea why the hand chose the shovel. The snow scene was completely invisible to it. A computer would log an error. A rational person would say, I don't know. But the human mind cannot handle its own helplessness. Without a single pause, the left brain confidently lied. It said, oh, that's easy. The chicken claw goes with the chicken, and you need a shovel to clean out the chicken coop. The conscious mind invented a fake universe to mask its own absolute blindness. This forces us to look at our daily lives through a much darker lens. Every major choice you make, your career, your partner, the house you buy, the words you speak, are you actually choosing? Or are you just defending a command issued by an ancient machine inside your basal ganglia? Reality is too fast for consciousness. It takes time to turn light into vision. It takes time to turn sound into hearing. Your brain lives in the past. It runs a continuous simulation of the future just to keep up. It handles survival in the dark and sends a neat script to your awareness when the real work is already finished. But look closer. The terror fades. A different truth takes its place. This silent, automated machine is not an enemy holding you hostage. It is you. It is the vault of every book you ever read, every memory you ever buried, every instinct passed down through millions of years of ancestral survival. Your brain keeps you in the dark because it loves you too much to let your slow, anxious, conscious mind get in the way of staying alive.
You own a biological supercomputer. It was optimized by deep time to run without breaking a sweat. Our modern misery comes from trying to micromanage this machine from the press podium. Anxiety is just the press secretary panicking over choices it didn't make. Burnout is the cost of trying to force manual control over an automated masterpiece. True peace means letting go of the steering wheel. Silence the narrator. Stop second-guessing your own biology. Step out of your own way and trust the silent mind that works entirely in the dark.